The girl had just come to the desert to snap a quick photo, but ended up tripping over an Aladdin's lamp. Looking at this rusty piece of junk, she picked it up and slammed it hard against the ground.
왜 걸리적거려? 고생을 하나도.
Still frustrated, she finally just chucked it as far as she could. But the next second, the lamp mysteriously appeared behind her again. She instantly realized something was off, but right then, she seemed to hear a voice coming from somewhere nearby.
누가 장난치는 거야?
After Lisa picked up the lamp from the ground, she discovered the voice was actually coming from inside it. Before Lisa could even react, the lamp suddenly started glowing with an eerie light. The next second, violent winds suddenly whipped through the quiet desert. Once everything settled down, the lamp actually transformed into a human figure and appeared right in front of her.
너 뭐야? 나 왜 따라왔어?
But instead of speaking, the genie lunged forward and sniffed her hair.
나를 가둔 흙덩이.
Turns out the genie had been waiting for Lisa for a full 900 years. He had planned to take his revenge on Lisa right away, but because of all her shaking earlier, he could barely even stand. Seeing that this guy seemed a bit unhinged, Lisa turned around and headed back to her hotel. But as soon as she opened her room door, she found the genie had already been waiting there for a while. The genie's name was John. Because he was born with a rebellious nature, God kicked him straight out of heaven. John accepted this punishment, but he also made one request of God, to be allowed to drag greedy humans down to hell. Surprisingly, God agreed without hesitation, and so John began wandering the mortal world. He would grant 3 wishes to anyone who found him. However, as time went on, he discovered that human desires were truly endless. But then a little girl appeared and caused him to be imprisoned for 900 years, because that little girl had absolutely no desires, and that little girl was Lisa's past life. The genie had planned to tempt her into making 3 wishes, then drag her down to hell. But what he didn't know was that Lisa had absolutely zero interest in wishes. Seeing that Lisa wasn't following his script, John resorted to sweet-talking to tempt her. Who knew she'd end up falling asleep to his chatter? Left with no choice, John pulled out all the stops, constantly popping up around her, trying to get Lisa to make her wishes. But Lisa didn't want to hear it and even grabbed a fork, ready to get physical with him. Seeing that John wouldn't stop pestering her, Lisa decided to just ignore him. However, what she didn't know was that only she could see John. No one else could. So Lisa ended up getting a lot of strange looks, with people thinking she was some crazy person talking to herself. This misunderstanding was the last straw for Lisa. To completely get rid of this annoying pest, she drove straight to the ocean and threw the lamp right into the sea. But when she got back home, she found John had already been waiting there for a while, just with slightly wet clothes. To get Lisa to make her wishes, John even disguised himself as other genie lamps. But Lisa saw right through him and without a word, slapped him across the face. Even so, John still had no intention of giving up. Seeing how persistent John was, Lisa casually asked if he could take her flying in the sky. The next second, John swept Lisa into his arms and soared freely through the sky, giving her a taste of pure speed and excitement. Then John brought her to a rooftop hundreds of feet high, and it was because of this that John became completely infuriated with this girl.